Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about pregnancy, birth, delivery, after birth, how I am now, how I was back then through that time period of the whole pregnancy birth thing, and postpartum depression. So I didn't get big with him. I looked like I swallowed a basketball. Literally, all my limbs were small. People did not, they kept on telling me every time I turned around, they were like, oh, you're so small. I wouldn't even notice that you're pregnant. Or, when you turned around, I just realized that you're pregnant because you don't look nothing like it from the back. And I didn't really look like it from the front either because it didn't show. It was like kind of narrow. But, they just didn't know. And he was 8 pounds and 9 ounces. And I had him, and he just looked like a little basketball. And I was eating all types of stuff. Anything you could think of. For the first 4 to 3 months, I couldn't eat. I could eat, but I couldn't eat that much. And I couldn't, oh God, I could not stand the smells. It would make me cry. I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking about I would go run up to the bed and I would cover my face because I could not stand smells. I could not stand the smell. It would hit my inner core and say get the fuck out of here. Stop smelling that shit. It would get to my brain immediately. And during my birth, I didn't have a very peaceful or beautiful, calm birth. I didn't like being pregnancy, or during my pregnancy. I didn't have a calm pregnancy. I was more of sad and very depressed during my pregnancy. I would cry literally every day, and I feel like it was in the situation I was in too with the living situation. It was just bad energy all the time, every day, and it just really made me sick. I would go to work and cry on the way over there, and then I'd go over there and then hide in some racks of clothes and cry over there too. And I think what really hurt me the most is that I didn't have family here, so I couldn't reach out to anybody close and just cry it out to them. And I didn't want to get help. I didn't want to get therapy. I didn't want to get any social work talking to me, nothing like that, because it just really affected me and impacted me. I don't want to have to open my story up to someone I don't know and don't trust like that. So after when it came down to the last month of my birth, I went back to Arkansas. Where I was born and raised, and my baby father stayed in the Bronx, New York. And we had planned on him coming over there to visit me, but it didn't work out that way, and he ended up not coming. So in my mind, I kind of knew that he wasn't going to, but I had my hopes up that he was, because I was just maybe this is gonna change. Maybe this is gonna be a good sign, or maybe he'll come after the birth. It didn't happen that way. I really had my hopes up really high, and just to know I had to fight through that alone, not having anybody there during birth. But I went on a family little trip to another city. It was just an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It went to Tulsa. We were in Arkansas, or we were in Fort Smith. We went to Tulsa. And we drove over there, and we usually just drive back and forth over there. But I woke up at 4 a.m. that day. I started having contractions. I didn't know they were contractions. I just knew wow, this is a different fucking pain. And it's hurting really bad. And it was happening every 4 hours. So I was it'll go away. And it went away. Then it happened again. And then it started getting closer every 2 hours. So we're already on the way over there, and I'm getting it every 2 hours. And I'm oh my God. I'm tightening my skin, tightening my thighs, tightening my legs, everything, because I don't want to make a big deal out of it, because it was me, my dad, my mom, and my uncle. And I was I don't want to make a big deal out of it. And I told my dad, hey, I'm getting contractions, but they're every 2 hours. And he's like, can you hold it till we get back? Like, you think it's gonna come now, or are you gonna have it here in this city? Like, I'm like, no, I can hold it till I get back. I know I can. So, and I'm like, I just need to stop the pain right now, so let's go get some food. Because I felt like that was the only distraction I could have to get away from the pain. So we went to go get some food. I ate some chicken strips, some corn dogs, and it did not, it stopped the pain temporarily because I was being distracted. But after that, the pain came right back. Like about 20 minutes later, it came right back. And then the contractions were like an hour apart now. So I was like, as soon as we landed back to Fort Smith, like, I'm telling you, it takes like an hour and a half to get there. He got there in 30 minutes because I told him, I looked at him, I was like, Dad, I think this baby's gonna come here. And he looked at me, he's like, search for the nearest hospital. And I'm like, okay, so I'm searching. I'm like, this is the closest one. And we weren't that close from it. We weren't like even close at all. So he's like, can you hold it? I'll make it back fast. And I thought he was lying. Like, he made it in 30 minutes. So I get down from the truck and I would pull up at the house. And it's my nephew's birthday that day. And I pull up at the house and I'm like, okay, as soon as I step off the vehicle, I get the biggest fucking contraction. I'm like, holy shit. I dropped to my fucking knees and I'm just like, oh my god, what the fuck do I do? I started breathing in and out really hard. I was like, I see this shit on YouTube. You have to breathe like this. So I was doing that. And then my dad was just looking at me like, oh, what the fuck? My mom's like, carry her. He's like, I can't pick her up. You see how big she is? So a couple minutes went by and it calmed down. So I went back inside. I gathered some clothes, gathered some things that I needed to gather. And we were only like 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, maybe like a minute and a half away from the hospital. So my dad went to go drop me off. And they went to, my mom stayed with me for a little bit. My sister stayed, my little sister stayed. And they were just the only two with me. And then my cousin ended up coming. She stayed with me through the process of the contractions and them like holding me because I wasn't dilated enough. I was only 4 centimeters. Not even 4 centimeters, 3 centimeters. But I only made it to 4 centimeters. And she stayed with me through that process. And they put the belt around my stomach and my baby's heart rate to check it. It kept on dropping. So every time it kept on dropping, they'd hear the noise and I'd hear it stop. And by that time, I already had the epidural in me because I didn't want to feel the contractions. They were fucking painful. Like, I was crying. Like, oh my god, yo. Like, the fucking contractions in the beginning, like, I was laying. They had me in this little room first to, like, check if it's going on. Like, if it's actually happening right now. Like, the birth. And they put the belt around me. And I'm having the contractions. And I guess, like, the belt can tell you on the screen and stuff like that. Like, the contractions. It's like reading the contractions. And I'm like over here like, oh my fucking god. And he looks at me, he's like, well, I can see that you're having one now because the thing just sparked up. And I'm like, yes, like, don't you see me screaming? Like, this shit fucking hurts. And I don't know if you're supposed to go through the contractions and then they put the epidural. But for me, the doctor, because this was in Arkansas, Fort Smith, as soon as he seen me going through all this pain, I guess he seen that my body couldn't take it because I was small. But he immediately put the epidural in. Like, they're like, okay, this is happening today or tomorrow morning, so we're taking her into a room. And over there in Arkansas, they give you your own private room, big as fuck, nice area to sleep in, a lot of space, a lot of space. And they took me off from that bed, switched me off to the other bed. No, they didn't take me off from that bed. I was in the same bed. They just rolled that shit out and put it to the private room. And the thing with the monitor was on. That's when they had the belt on. His heart rate kept on dropping. And whenever his heart rate dropped, I never experienced what the hell happened. So immediately, doctors, 5 fucking nurses came rushing in. And they turned my body around. They had to flip me. All of them had to flip me around, like in a doggy style position. And then one of them, my whole body was done from the epidural. So I couldn't feel like them putting their hands in me and shit to like see how far I am, what's going on, how to get the heart rate. They put me in that position and tell me to like bend, like arch my back down to like doggy position. And they were like, oh, this is the like moving around like this will get the heart rate to go back up. And it did. And it happened. That happened. Those scares, those freakouts happened about 3 times. Almost, it was about 4 times actually. Like 3 that night, and in the morning it happened again. And then the last time it happened, the doctor's like, we can't do this anymore. Like, you're in your 41st week, and I already popped the water. It came out like a greenish brown, and excuse me. So we went immediately. They took me into emergency C-section, and I just remember my parents and my mom and the room that they put you in, like the private room. And I remember them and looking at them. I'm just like, I don't want a C-section. I don't want a C-section. And they couldn't really do anything about it because like the doctor's like, she immediately made that decision for me. And I'm under a lot of drugs already from the medicine they were putting in my IV. And they were like, here, sign this form so you can get the C-section. And they're putting it on me, and I'm like this. They're practically moving my fucking hand for me. And so the C-section went on, and I was I was being cut open. Okay, give me a second. I need to get this water because my mouth is really dry now. Don't knock over my water, or you don't get none. So I had an emergency C-section. They were taking me in down the hallway. The guy that was putting in the epidural that always was coming to put it in, he was like, I need y'all to stop moving so I can put in the medication. Like, he yelled at them, and I was crying at that whole time, and I still I froze because I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is this nigga yelling and I'm over here pregnant and crying? And he was yelling at them because they kept on moving. Like, they had to get to it fast before his heart rate stopped, or his heart stopped, like, completely. So I'm over here, paused and froze. And we get to the surgery room, and I'm laying there. They pick up the thing, switch me over, and I could barely feel it because I was numb. And all I remember is immediately they strapped both of my arms down immediately. And then I'm looking around, and I'm under a lot of medication at this point. But in my mind, I was like, let me see somebody I know, please. My mom, my dad, my baby father. Let me see somebody I know. And it wasn't that way. I remember the guy that was putting in the epidural. He was like just staring at me. I was looking up. I was like this, laying down. So I was looking up, and I seen him. And hold on, let me put him up so I can give him his bottle. Here. So I'm laying there. They're cutting me open. All I feel, they put the sheet there so you don't see nothing. I guess it's out of your own protection and safety so you don't go crazy seeing it. And I feel it. I feel everything happening down there. The pressure. All I feel was very strong pressure. My body, I felt it lift from the damn mattress and then go back down. And I felt it lift again. You okay? I felt it lift again and then go back down. And next thing you know, they're like, I'm under a lot of drugs, so I'm looking up, and I remember the nurse holding my hand. She comes over, she holds my hand. I don't know who she was, but she was holding my hand from the strap, where I was strapped down, and my head. She was just like this, like hugging me. She wanted to hug me. And she's like, you're gonna be okay. And I was under so much drugs on that point, because it was like all the stuff, the medication they were putting in to like get your body numb and into that stage of here we go, we're having the baby. And I remember looking at her, I'm like, I was so gone. And I was like, are you my friend? Are you my best friend? And she was like, yes, I'm not gonna go nowhere. I'm not gonna go nowhere. And I feel like at that moment, I realized that it was the most painful experience, horrible experience I went through. I looked up, and when I would close my eyes, everything was like a garden. It was just all green and like a garden. And I didn't think I was gonna cry on here, but I just wanted to share with you an experience that I went through, because if anybody else goes through it, you're not alone, because it happens. So at that stage, I was just so gone into all this medication that was put in me. And then she brought me back to like reality. She kept on looking at me. She like, hey, look, your baby's out. Do you want to kiss him? Do you want skin to skin? And I was like, I don't want to accept it. I don't want to accept that I'm a mom. I don't want to accept that this has happened. And with everything that was just going on, I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to meet him. They wrapped him. And as I told her no, twice, I told her no. She brought him to me, and I couldn't push him away or anything because I was strapped down and on the surgery table. And she put him on my cheek. And I was so numb. Like, I was like, what's happening? Like really, I was questioning myself what was happening, because I didn't even realize it completely and accept it. So I was shaking, like jittering and shaking non-fucking stop through the pregnancy, or through the birth, the C-section. And they were like, you have to calm down, you have to relax. And I kept on shaking, and I couldn't stop. Like, how the fuck am I gonna stop shaking? Tell me how, and I'll do it. So that's why they put me under a lot of medicine, because I could not relax. I could not relax. I was shaking so bad, and my mouth kept on doing like jitters. It was jittering so extremely bad. And when I got out, they took me back to the private room, and I was in there, and they told me, oh, you couldn't eat nothing, so you can eat ice chips. It's like just crushed ice. So I was eating the ice chips, and then my cousin came in, and she was feeding me the ice chips. The pain, I couldn't feel it at that moment. I couldn't feel anything because I was so under all this medication. But I couldn't stop shaking because my body was into like an immediate shock. I couldn't stop jittering. The girl comes in, the nurse, some old lady. She was like, oh, ma'am, you have to stop shaking. You have to relax. Fucking tell me how, and I'll do it. Like, give me the fucking steps. Don't tell me just to, oh, stop relaxing. Like, did you just go through what I just went through? No, you didn't. So sit your old saggy ass down, because I'm over here fucking having a panic attack, and you're over here telling me, oh, stop it. Like, you can't tell me to stop it whenever it's happening and I have no control over it. So after that, the medicine went down, and like within 20 minutes I completely blacked out. I knocked out. About 2 to 3, 4 hours later, I woke up. I felt everything on my fucking body. They were giving me hydros. They were giving me some other medicine, some painkillers. They were giving me vitamins, stool softeners, ibuprofens. They were giving me so much shit. But it could not take away the pain of that C-section. All it did was knock me out. The hydros knocked me out. The other painkillers knocked me out. That's all it did. It didn't take the pain away though. Like, I couldn't walk. They picked me up practically to like stand up and like do like 5 steps for the first day. And then I laid back down. They're like, you have to move around. You have to get up. Like, you need to, you have to find a way to move around. And by that time I was having visitors. My mom, my dad, my uncle, my brother, my sister. Everybody was coming different days. But that didn't matter to me that they came and visited, right? It didn't matter to me. I appreciate it, but it just didn't matter to me emotionally that I had visitors, because it's like, who was there for me when I was getting sliced open? Who was there for me when I was being hugged by somebody I didn't know? Who was there for me that I knew that could hug me and tell me it was gonna be alright? That I could look at them and smile and say, okay, we're gonna go through this. It could have been anybody that I knew, and I would have been satisfied. It just didn't happen. And I knocked out. I woke up and my sister and her husband and my cousin were there on the couch. And I look at them and it's all blurry, but I see them, I can tell who they are. And they bring me more ice chips. And he just farted. Thank you for being a part of it. But they make me stand up, walk around. And then after that, I sat back down. I was like, fuck this. I ain't trying to push myself to do that if I can't do it. So, hold on. So, I wasn't going to push myself to do it if I couldn't do it. And I couldn't. The second day, actually the first day I was in there still, when they pushed me to walk around and stuff, and then they told me to, they came in, they like, pick up your gown. I was like, okay. And they started pressing on the cut around it to see if the uterus was back in place and everything was all right. And when I tell you, on a 1 to 10, this shit was a 20 of pain. You just had a 7-inch cut and they're pushing on it. They're pushing on it, which cut through your muscle, through your fat, to get to your uterus. And you're telling me you're pushing on it. That's like saying you're breaking your leg and now you're going like this to move the bone and play with it. Like, no. So my dad was in there and he seen me scream and kick and push the nurse off of me. Because she's like, you have to let me, you have to let me. I fucking wanted to strangle that bitch. Even though she was just doing her job, that pain hurt so bad. And they did it twice a day, every day that I was hospitalized. I was hospitalized for 4 days. And I was on IV for iron because I have iron deficiency. And that first day that I was laying down in the room and stuff, and they made me walk, a couple hours later, a lot of hours later, they brought me him. And they rolled him in there. I didn't know what to think. I forgot the whole thing of, wow, I just had a baby. I forgot it all because I was under all this medicine and waking up and focusing on like, damn, my body hurts. I didn't pay much attention to me having him. And I was just like, I felt air all through right here on my neck. I couldn't move that much. It hurt so fucking bad. Like, I had so much air right here. The doctor comes in and I'm like, why does it hurt so bad right here? He's like, you have air from whenever you had the C-section. There's gonna be air bubbles, gas, and stuff like that. I was like, okay. So I went like this. I had to have like 4 fucking pillows set behind me. And I kept on getting the painkillers to get away from the medicine. But they brought him in. And I was like, wow, this is really happening. I have a son. And my dad was like, you gotta put him skin to skin so he can get used to you, feel your mom, like you're his mom, and the heat from your body, and know who you are. So I was just like, at first I was iffy about it, because I was like, I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to, like, in my mind it was telling me no. But I forced myself to accept it because he's my son, and I took the responsibility. I wasn't gonna neglect it. I wasn't gonna push it away. I took the responsibility forcefully. No matter how much it would damage me, I took it. And yes, I do love him, but I still took it. So, I'm sorry, this is like really emotional for me, but it is really hard. And this is like the first time I open up about it and speak about it online, like step by step. So I held him, and he was so small but big. Hold on, let me give him something. Here. Oh, no, you didn't. Yes, you did. I know, you ain't cockies, boy. Okay. He took a crap. And it was a big crap. So let's just shorten up this story as much as we can. So I didn't want to accept it. I put him skin to skin. I loved him. And I just took the responsibility. As minutes went by, hours went by, I fell in love with him. As they taught me how to breastfeed, and I started growing emotion for him, a connection for him immediately. As soon as I felt him on me, I smelled him. I got to feel his hands. It was so tiny. It was like they just wrapped around my little pinky. Like his whole hand wrapped like this much around. And I would feed him. And I remember when feeding time came, I just wanted to feed him and be there and have that connection with him. And I looked at him, and I asked the lady when she was changing him real quick to put the cover around him, like, is he supposed to be breathing that way? His ribs, when he was breathing, it was going in and out deep. So she was like, no, that doesn't look normal. And I'm like, no shit, I'm telling you, is there something wrong? Because that doesn't look normal. So she's like, oh, I don't know about that or about this. I'm like, what the fuck are you in here for? Why are you even dealing with the child if you don't know shit about him? So she's like, I'm gonna bring in somebody else that knows about it. So we had to wait there 10-15 minutes while this other fat bitch came, taking her sweet fucking time. Like, oh, with my baby over here having problems, and you're taking your sweet ass time. And she was like, oh yes, we're gonna have to take him to the NICU for Dr. Coloso to see him. I was like, okay, I hope he's okay. Can I come and see him right now? Can I go with him? even though I couldn't walk, even though I was in pain, I still told myself, hey, can I go with him? Hold on, puppy. Because now you're driving mama crazy. So I was like, can I go with him? Can I go see him? She's like, no, you have to wait till they get the results and stuff and see what's wrong with him. But you call this these 3 numbers or this number right here, so you can call the NICU and you can check up on him right there. That shit of having a disconnect from my baby when I just built the connection and now it's gone because there's something wrong with him, that shit hurts so bad. Like, to have him just taken away and not know if he's okay, it hurt because I'm like, damn, is this the only time I got to see him and now he's gonna be gone? Is something gonna happen? And the doctor came in, he explained to me, he's like, your baby has meconium. He was born with it, and that means like they come out like a little green because they pooped in the sac, and he started breathing it in, got to his lungs, and they showed me a picture of his lungs. They had patches on it from the poop, and they did suck it out. They put him in the NICU. He was hospitalized for 10 days. And I was hospitalized for 4. So out of those 4 days I was in there, I had to force myself, by myself, nobody else helping me, to get up from the bed, to get one of those wheelchairs and hold myself on it to walk myself like a walker to the NICU. Because I wasn't gonna let this cut stop me from seeing my son, not knowing if it was the last time I was going to see him. So I went to go slowly as fuck. Like I was going like a turtle to the NICU, and I finally made it, and I finally seen him. Yo, I seen him in the glass little thing, the box, and I just broke down so bad, like so bad, and like blamed myself so bad because I just wanted to be in that box. I wanted to be the one. They said it happens because you stressed or because you got scared, and the baby got scared too. So I wanted to be in the box. I wanted to be the ones having wires connected me. Why does he have to deal with it? Why does he have to go with it? Because he's so small, he's defenseless. How is he going to fight this off? They had him on oxygen. They had to put Pixin through his belly button to get I'm not sure what it was to get in. And I told the lady, why does it have to be in there? Can it be someone else? They had it first in his belly button, and they removed it and they put it in his arm. And I remember just looking at his little arm and him having that in there. And I remember seeing him in that little box and holding him with all the wires. He had oxygen. There's oxygen connected to him too. They had to feed him through a tube, a little wire. That, not just a C-section, but that right there, it hurt so much. It hurt a lot. Having seen my son, he didn't come out premature. He came out fully full term because he was big and he had so much hair. He had so much hair. It was like all spiky, and he had like the most hair out of, he had the most hair out of all the babies in the NICU. Yeah, I know. You're like, you talking about me, mommy. I know it. So I went in there. I would feed him when they let me, Probably by the 3rd day, I was able to start feeding him by myself. Maybe it was the 4th or 5th day, to be honest. The 4th or 5th day. But each day that went by, they had these charity rooms. Immediately, I signed up for the charity room. They gave me one. They let me stay there because you can stay there as long as your son is hospitalized or your daughter. So I stayed there. And they feed you there. They give you all kinds of snacks there and stuff. I was so affected and impacted and hurt by what he was going through. I barely ate anything. I didn't really eat at all, actually. So my weight decreased immediately within just 2 weeks. So I'm in there every day. I'm in the room. I'm sleeping. I'm waking up every 2 hours. I think it's every 2 hours or every 3 hours. It was every 3 hours. Every 3rd hour, I would wake up. And sometimes I couldn't sleep. Some days I didn't sleep. But I did not miss one of his feedings. Because as soon as they gave me that opportunity to hold him again, to actually feed him for the first time, I wasn't gonna miss that. I didn't know if he was gonna stay with me through the whole journey. I didn't know if one day I was gonna wake up and they're gonna tell me, oh, this happened. That's why I pushed myself not to sleep. I pushed myself every fucking 3rd to 1 hour. I would be visiting him. If I wasn't visiting him, I was feeding him. And I was in there so much. If I could have them write a report on how much I was in there, they would be like, she was in there every day, non-stop. I did not leave that hospital but one time for 15 minutes tops to go get clothes to change into. And I'm only like a minute and a half away from the house. So I got the clothes. I changed. And took a shower. Was showering, living there like regular, visiting him. And those days were just so hard. People came and visited me in the room. They came and ate. And I wasn't the same. After birth, I wasn't the same mentally, emotionally, physically. I was upset with my body. And I guess I could explain and show y'all how my body is on the next video. But I was upset with my body, and I was upset, just emotionally hurt from not having the person I expected the most to be there. And I mean, yeah, it happened, and maybe I should be over it, but I'm not over it, because that is like the first time I've had a child. It's my first experience. And to come to think that the person I really love the most, it just wasn't there for me. Like, I feel like it just wasn't fair, because even after I had the baby, I just wanted to see them so bad. So bad. I just wanted to feel like what I did was important. What I did had meaning and reason to it. And I don't know what flipped in me, but all the love I had for that person just went into my baby. Usually, a little bit of love stays for that person, but I feel like all of my love just went into the baby because I didn't have anybody else. I didn't have anybody else to love me at that moment, hug me. I remember seeing him at the little glass thing. He'd be smiling sometimes. I remember when he opened his eyes. They were so clear and so brown. And he was just looking around like, wow, like welcome to the universe. I remember crying every time I would hold him. I remember when they put in the pics and the lines, they had him strapped down, the arms and the legs. And I went to go see him. They said I could come close, so I came close and I put my finger on his hand, and he knew I was there, because as soon as I did that, he just held on to me. He held on to my finger, and I knew that we were gonna be okay. And I remember holding him after. It felt so beautiful. They took pictures of me, and I was crying, but they took pictures of me still. Because I was like, I don't care if I'm crying. I just want to have my pictures with him, because I never know what anything could change or happen through these days that are going by, and he's in here. They had him on antibiotics the whole time he was in there. So by the 6th day, the oxygen kept on going. I think it was going down to the point where that means he's breathing on his own. So he's breathing on his own, and I'm feeling better about it. I'm getting happy about it. And as progress goes by, he keeps on getting better and better and better. And I was there through each moment, each second. And progress went good. He was able to get out of the hospital on the 10th day, the day before 4th of July of last year, of 2019. And he was born on June 23rd, 2019. And we left July 4th or July 3rd. So they got me off of IVs. I was able to be seeing him all the time, and we left the hospital. When we left that hospital, I was like, thank you, God, because I took him out of there and I put him in his car seat, and I got to leave him with my baby. With my baby. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, yes, he's mine, he's mine, he's mine. And it was so different being a mom, waking up every 2 hours, maybe 1 hour, if he starts getting fussy and crying. I lost so much sleep. I lost myself. I lost weight. I became very severely depressed. Sometimes I would just give him to my sister, my mom, anybody who wanted to carry him, so I could take off that weight from me, and it just didn't work. I was so stuck, and I'm still stuck, but I would wake up in the middle of the night just crying and crying. I remember one time I was in front of my dad, and I cried so bad, and I said, here, just take him, please. And I screamed, and I went to go cry in the restroom and scream, and just, I fell to the floor, and I broke down. I started crying and crying and crying. And I wanted to end my life at that moment. I wanted to end my life so fucking bad. But I didn't. I was too scared. I was too pussy to do it. And I remember crying still every day after that. I would actually get myself ready and make myself pretty to make myself feel better. But then I knew in a couple of minutes all this is about to go away, because you have to go back to reality and take care of your son again. It's not his fault, but it's not my fault for I would say it's not my fault, but I feel like it is still, because I should have prepared myself mentally for this. But just having to go through it alone, that shit hurts. I would break down twice a week, every week, And I'm not exaggerating. Like my dad remembers, I would just lock myself in the restroom and cry and kick and scream. I wanted to sleep again. I wanted to feel free again. And I couldn't. I remember I went through the most strongest, difficult, most hardest postpartum of my life, and I'm still fighting through it. As of today, my child is 7 months, and I'm still fighting through postpartum depression. Very strong. And I was already going through a horrible pregnancy with him. And now having to go through a horrible postpartum depression, it mentally fucks you up. My body dropped so much weight. I was at 179 at birth. I'm at 135 right now. Do you know how many pounds that is of being like I lost? Within not being conscious of it, just waking up every day with weight dropping and me being now a fucking bone. And the crazy thing about it is I'm pregnant right now, and it is very hard for me to gain weight. I eat and eat and eat, but there's no weight that's sticking on me. And I'm so insecure about it because whenever someone tells me, oh, you're really skinny and you don't even look pregnant, like in my mind I'm like, yes, bitch, I know. And I'm just like, yeah. And I tell them straight up, I'm like, yeah, I'm really insecure about that because I want to be able to look pregnant because I am pregnant right now. I'm pregnant and I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but that'll be another video. But I didn't get any stretch marks. I got maybe like 3, but baby ones. They're like this tiny, little itty bitty ones, like centimeters, 3 little centimeters or 2 centimeters, and they're just like 3 of them. But other than that, nothing else on my stomach. But I do have, hold on, I do have a big ass scar from the baby, from the C-section. So even though I didn't get stretch marks, I have a huge ass scar that is very visible, and it's not gonna go away. I'll show you that part, but oh, sorry. But that's about it. That's my stomach right now because I'm pregnant. Other than that, my stomach is on the clear from the stretch marks, but I do have that big ass scar. And my frame is really small, but I was able to gain weight back then, like easy. I was thick, but now I'm like a damn stick. But I'm still fighting through a lot of depression, a lot of stress, and I'm trying to find my ways out of it. I'm trying to find outlets. I'm trying to find ways to make me happy again. It's really hard to do it on yourself. I'm back in New York, and I'm back being like close with my baby father, but me having to deal with it on my own, living in a shelter with my son, and financially broke. It's a lot to go through. Having to depend on the government, it's a lot to go through because you're fighting it all alone. I'm 23 years old. Like, this is just only half of the story if you knew the rest. But I can't say the rest because it's not my part to say the rest. I feel like you would feel like, damn, what the fuck is she going through? Like, damn, how is she doing it? How is she dealing with it? But I am 7 months of recovery, but pregnant again, 3 months. I'm 3 months pregnant. And yeah. I'm getting through it. I'm making it. I've been to so many social workers and they keep telling me you need to see a therapist. We can refer you to a mental place so they can help you get mental help. And I'm like, I don't want to see a therapist. I don't want mental help. I don't want to be under pills. I don't want to be considered crazy, because I'm not. I had a child. I went through a horrible pregnancy and I had a child, and now I have postpartum depression. It's simple, but it is very fucking hard to deal with. And I'm trying to deal and fight it on my own. So if you can get these referrals out of the fucking way that I keep denying, I would very much appreciate it. Because I don't want to be labeled crazy because of something naturally that happens through your body and you go through. So, bright side of it is today I went out with my baby father and my son, and he gave us a gift. He gave me a gift for the baby. Let me show you. So, in New York, it gets like really cold and stuff. He got a North Face. He got him a North Face snowsuit, and it has a double thing to lock in his feet so he won't be cold, and for his hands too. So he's really tall. He's like 28 inches. The baby's like, my son is like really long, and it has fur all the way in so he can be warm. Like, and the color is just like so bright and like brand new. And I love it because it doesn't look washed out. So that was like 120, probably more, plus tax. And he got him a matching little outfit with it because it's like royal blue too. It's a little Nike outfit. It comes with a hat. It comes with little boots, socks, boots, and then a Nike onesie. So it's a 3-piece set, but it's a 6 to 12 months because he is 7 months. And I can't wait to see put this on him so y'all can see it. And by that being said, with all that being said, it is 52 minutes long, and I'm sorry for making this video so long, but thank y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. If any of y'all are going through this, or if you know a friend that's going through it, you can refer her to my channel. And you know, I open up very much here, very strongly and clearly on here, because I fight through a lot, as in what I'm going through. But please like, subscribe, and comment, and share. I love you all, and thank you for watching. And I need to go change this diaper. So, bye.